Kia ora. Hello, friends.
Hello.
How are you? Welcome to the Brickanista Broadcast Network. I'm Naomi, the Brickanista here in Seattle, and I'm with my buddy, Remy, who's out of Virginia. How's it going, Remy?
How's it going?
And for those of you who are wondering, we were supposed to meet in person at Bricks by the Bay, and that didn't happen, unfortunately. So sorry about that. I was really looking forward to meeting you, Remy. But we still have this virtual type of show, and that's great.
Yes.
Yeah. And for those of you who are new to the Brickanista Broadcast Network, welcome. And we have been doing these Wednesday shows called What, When, Why Wednesdays. And one of the things that we've been doing is we've been choosing different topics. And then when Lego Masters Season 3 for the US got moved, we were talking. I said, I have some friends in New Zealand and I could get them to come on to the show. And we've been doing a couple of review shows for the last 4 weeks. And when we were talking one time, we had one of the contestants who was Mr. Evo and Zed who showed up. And it was Glenn Knight showed up on the chat, and it was crazy because we've only been doing this for a couple weeks, and it's been really a lot of fun. And through that, I got to meet our guests who are going to be joining us also from New Zealand. And I still can't believe this has been happening. I don't know about you, Remy. It's been crazy.
This is real. We're not sleeping.
It's like, and we'll tell you also at the end too about how this is moving forward. But you probably remember last couple episodes, 2 episodes ago, we had Rebecca Roos, who is the wife of Jake Roos, on, which was also completely by accident. Yeah. It turns out my friend Sean works with her. So we got the perspective of one of the spouses of the contestants. But now, here we have contestants who are on the show. And I see they're getting ready in the green room.
Yes.
I think they're ready. And please help me welcome to the stream. We have Georgie and Andrew Palmer. Oh no, are they frozen? Welcome. There they are. Okay, they're back. Kia ora and welcome. Great
Hello.
To have you here.
G'day.
Hey, how are you?
Yeah, we're not too bad, but we are on the world's worst Wi-Fi connection. So probably, if you give us 2 minutes, we'll just move and get a bit of a better signal.
Oh, okay. Do you want to move to another area of the house?
Yeah, we'll just move to the other end of the house. So,
okay. All right. We will cover for you.
Okay. Yeah, I know that game. Let me tell you.
Well,
the internet goblins.
All right. So while they're moving, and we can see them in the back, it's kind of fun. This platform is that the fact that Glenn Knight showed up, and then we got Rebecca Roos, and then I've reached out to Jake through Rebecca. So Jake has agreed, and I think we might have to change one of our dates for our episodes because both. Glenn works during the time that we broadcast. So in order to get him on the show, we'll be doing that a little bit later. Just wanted to say, let's welcome a few of the people who are in our chat. So hello, Zach Martinez. And he says, hello, Lego Masters. And I think they're back. So let's see how the new location is working. So please help me welcome again.
Oh,
I gotta do this. There they are. Is this a better Wi-Fi connection now?
Yeah, the modem's just there.
Should be a lot better in here.
Oh, wonderful. Well, it's good to have you on the show. Thank you so much for taking the time with us Americans. And we've been really, really excited. And thank you also to TV and Zed for giving us the promo photo of the two of you. You two are so adorable. It's just been so much fun watching you on the show. And we were hoping you didn't mind if we asked you a few questions, some interview questions. Then we're going to talk about episode 5. I think, Andrew, do you have to leave a little early too? Or
no, I've rearranged my schedule a little bit.
Yay.
So we should be good for the duration.
Awesome. Great. Well, welcome. And first of all, I have to ask the two of you, I think, was this your idea, Georgie, to be on the show, or whose idea was it?
No, it was my idea. So basically what happened is about this time last year, almost exactly a year ago, what happened was I got a text from my friend while I was up a ski field in a blizzard, basically. And I was kind of like, oh, so why is somebody texting me? You know, because like usually when I'm on skiing holidays, it's only really like parents texting me or whatever. And of course they were all there. We're all like putting our ski boots on. And I get this text and it says, oh my gosh, it's happening. And it was a link to the application page for Lego Masters New Zealand. And I was like, oh my God. And so like right there and then in the freezing cold with my ski boots on, I start filling out the application form. And Dad was just sort of there. And so I was sort of like, oh, well, I need to put a name down so that I can send this in, you know, just whatever type. And then
so he was
like,
kind of,
okay, whatever.
He was convenient.
Then, yeah.
Yeah, so I just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time.
So do you, Andrew, do a lot of Lego? Do you consider yourself an adult fan of Lego?
To a degree. Yeah, you know, I grew up with it, and I'd never really let it go, but only to the extent that you know I might dabble once or twice a year, sort of thing. Certainly, you know, I've never really. I think we've been to one show. We've been to a couple of Legolands.
Yeah.
You know, real fringe stuff. So when it was. Well, Georgie said, "Oh, look, can we enter this?" And I just said, "Yeah." And you never believe for a minute you're going to get in. and then it all became a bit suddenly real when we got a bit of feedback from the interview saying, "Oh, you know, we like you and you're a good pair and all this kind of thing," and we're keen to have you. And we were like, oh my word, better school up a bit. So I mean, I guess our you know, we definitely had sort of imposter syndrome big time with the other 10 people, because they are, you know, fully immersed in the whole thing, rooms full of Lego,
going to shows,
writing for websites, all of that. And we were very much sort of fringe dabblers, if you like.
And we kept to ourselves with it sort of as well, I think. Yeah,
but it was really encouraging to show that as long as you've got some sort of skill, you know, and you're dedicated and you put some effort in, you know, really anybody can do this. It's not, you don't have to be a massive obsessive to do reasonably well in the show. And that was, and we proved that. And we were really chuffed with how we did, didn't we?
Yeah, no, I mean, we were really happy with everything that we put out there. I mean, obviously some builds more than others, but overall, I mean, we're just really stoked with how everything turned out.
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't really a bad build, and that's from two people who, you know, yes, we're keen and everything else, but it's not
to the extent of the others.
Not even slightly to the extent of the others. So you know, it was good from that point of view. It shows you can do well.
Yeah.
And you're a civil engineer too, right, Andrew? So did that help you with learning some of these new skills?
Yeah. I mean, it certainly helped a bit. You know, I mean, our teamwork was that I would do the structure. And Georgie would, you know, and the technique and this, that, and the other. But yeah, I mean, to put it in perspective, I'd never seen a Technic beam without studs before, you know, about October. And so it was like, you know, all of the Technic I had back in the 70s was studded bricks with holes in. And so that was what I knew. And so all of these things that were, you know, there were suddenly odd numbers instead of even numbers, and there were no studs where previously there'd been studs everywhere, and I was like, oh, how on earth does this work? But very quickly, I guess you learn. You know, you have to learn, or you're going to look at.
Otherwise, you get eliminated, right?
Yeah, for sure. But it was a steep learning curve.
Yeah, for sure.
So I had another question, but I didn't want to interject before Remy had a chance to ask.
No, go ahead.
I was just curious. One aspect of your builds included a chameleon in all the builds. And one of the people in the chat is wondering, Debo is asking, is there a chameleon hiding in the background now?
Just hold on. You'll, do you know where it is?
Of course there is.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so
Okay,
let's hear the story of the chameleon.
so-
Yeah, we need the story of the chameleon too.
Can we
Oh,
There's
there
the
it is.
sig fig.
there?
That's
Yes.
your sig, right?
Yeah, here,
So
let's
this is
give you
my
full
sister
screen.
with the Lego Masters printed shirt that Dan organized for us from Rick's Bricks. Go check him out. And that's an official brick pit chameleon that we subtly stole.
Yeah, liberated is the term.
Liberated from the pit.
Yeah.
But
No, that's
yeah,
really
so Georgie came up with this idea, and it was in episode 1.
Yeah.
She'd found these things, and again, neither of us had ever
Seen them
seen.
before. No.
We'd never seen one. It was like, oh, this is a cute little thing, and because we were well finished, weren't we, on episode 1? We had a bunch of time left, and so it was sort of, we were checking out what was in the brick pit and all this kind of thing, and she came up with these things, and it was your idea to just sort of hide one in amongst the bushes on top of the island, and
Yeah.
so we did, and then of course it just became a thing after that. And on about episode 6 was it? You said,
Oh, I had
look,
it. Yeah. So what happened? Episode 6. What it was is it's a monochrome build, so you had to build in only one color, and of course,
oh yeah, spoiler alert. Yeah, so
Yeah.
we better not
Spoiler
tell
alert.
anyone.
No, that's okay.
Oh
Yeah.
no, I think they're all.
It'll encourage them to watch the episode.
Yeah, episode 6.
Episode 6.
Smashing.
Episode 6 is a really good episode.
I
It's a-
could
it-
not
it
find
really
the
enjoyed
chameleon
it.
in that build, so please let us know where it is.
Yeah. Yeah, so with that build, because we had to do a monochrome build, of course, chameleon look, colors and everything. So I, with our little desk cam that was on our workstation thing, I went up to it and was sort of like, hey, so everyone at home, look at the chameleon. I'm going to hide it in the scaffolding. Okay, bye. And they actually showed that in the show, which was quite amazing. I just thought I was just being cheeky. But,
And then they obviously some poor sod had to look through all the footage to find these chameleons on each build, and they did. They showed a little montage of where all the chameleons were.
And Remy's been looking too, because he's been putting together all
I've
the
been poring over
visuals.
the footage to find them.
Yay.
Well, we could let you into the. I'm just trying to think if I can remember where they all were.
I can.
But yeah, so look, if you want to know, we'll let you know.
Yeah.
Oh,
We do have lots of questions actually.
Sure, no, far away, please.
Yeah.
Well, I want to know about the T-shirt.
mhm.
Oh,
Yeah, I was going to ask.
The
Is that
blimey
the
T-shirt.
blimey!
Oh,
well,
that T-shirt.
Blimey is I mean, I'm from the UK, so blimey is about as British as you get. You see, it's really a London expression, and I think on the T-shirt it says an expression of great surprise. Yeah, there you are.
Exclamation of great surprise.
So it's just a thing, and it's obviously not in the American vernacular at all.
No.
But you go to London, you hear blimey, and it's just a.
Well,
Oh
it's
my
very
God, or something like that. So that's what it's about. And I think on the back of the T-shirt, it says English talk proper. So it's just a bit of humour.
No,
It's
but there
very
was a
unusual.
shirt, though.
Oh yeah. I there was the reason I wore it was because we'd got through, of course.
Yeah.
And so it was an exclamation of great surprise that here we were, we finding ourselves in episode whatever
This
it
was
was.
episode 4.
Episode
So we got
4.
through episode
That's right.
3.
Yeah. So we'd survived an elimination. So that was what it was all about.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
was this a gift from someone? This T-shirt, or did you just?
No, not at all. It was we were in London about 7-8 years ago, and we were in a tourist attraction. It was the old Cabinet War Rooms where Winston Churchill used
Yes,
to
they were so good.
used to do all the the war stuff, and it was all underground. And we'd gone down and had a look around this thing, and they were just for sale there in the gift shop at the end, and I just loved it. I thought that's so appropriate, and So I bought it and I wear it on the TV.
Oh,
Well, I may go buy that shirt because I thought it was hilarious. And they often don't let people wear anything with text on it, which is very unusual. So the fact they let you wear that was awesome.
Yeah, we had to ask, and initially the wardrobe lady was a little bit cagey, but she said, no, it's not going to offend anybody, so you go for your life. And I just thought it was really appropriate that we'd got through this elimination, and there we were.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really fun.
And this is why you're getting inside insights here on the Brick and Easter Broadcast Network.
So yeah, I was also curious about Georgie's T-shirt. Is that the first brick show that you went to, that you've attended?
It is, actually. Well, it's the first one I exhibited at. So it says, hang on, I'll stand up.
Top of the South?
So it says Top of the South Brick Show, and that's the lug who run it. And yeah, all good fun, and this is where we are and all that. So that show was the first show I exhibited at, although I had been to one in Wellington in like 2018 or something like that, but I just sort of wandered around and stuff. But this one was like a proper first real brick show experience, and I did that show. I did it about a week before we found out we got in, and so we just had the live audition, and so there we'd auditioned with Glenn and Jake, because 2 teams auditioned at once, and Glenn had some builds at the show. I also met Dan at the show.
Yeah, that's right. Dan was at the show. I remember meeting Dan.
And I remember going up to Dan's display where, of course, you have all the bricks showing all the different shows that you've been to. And his was massive. And I had 1 brick. And I was like, oh my God. So yeah, that was a bit of a little bit of a shock. But yeah, I thought on the back of doing the live audition and sort of being like, oh, well, actually the chances of us getting in are quite likely now. I was like, well, there's this brick show in a couple of weeks. Maybe I should just go. And luckily I had a build ready to go, which was this big sort of island thing that took me about 20 hours to do. I'd done it over a lockdown because we'd had a lockdown about a couple of months before. And so I just took that, and yeah, it was great. I mean, quite small, but I think it was good that I sort of did that to sort of get a bit more insight into, the community and all that before we went on the show. Yeah.
Okay, so that was before Lego Masters. Have you been to any events since the show has aired? And what's that experience?
We went down to a place called Cromwell down in Central Otago, which is about a 10-hour drive from here. And it's reasonably close to where Georgie's at university, and so she had been invited as an Otago resident now, or at least student in residence, to exhibit at this brick show.
Yep.
She had rung me and said, "Do you want to go?" And I said, "Oh yeah, that's smashing. Yeah, let's go." And
then we sort of forgot that I would be up here because it's break.
Yeah.
And you have to drive down. It's not just
So it was just this huge road trip to get down there, 2 days of driving. And
I've been to Cromwell.
And then you get to Cromwell, and of course Cromwell's tiny. It's this tiny,
it's a
wee
small
little place.
farm town, and
really
they have
small.
those big fruit sculptures right in the middle of town.
Yeah. So it's there's not a lot there, but the brick show was I don't know what the figures were for the at least getting through the door, but yeah, 1,000 or just over 1,000 people, and of course we had an exhibit there, a little build, and we were mobbed.
Yeah,
we were mobbed with people. It was just nuts. The whole thing was just bizarre.
And your hand was cramping from all of the signatures that you were giving out.
It was more selfies.
It was selfies.
I did get an autograph though.
Yeah, we did sign an autograph, and but no, the number of people who wanted to ask us questions.
It was like one every 2 minutes.
And ask and take selfie photos with us in our build. It was just the whole thing was just bonkers. Yeah.
I mean, it was good practice for Christchurch next
weekend. Yeah.
Because it's going to be way bigger.
Because Christchurch should be 20,000 people and a massive, great arena. And yeah.
Wow, 20,000.
Sorry.
Yeah.
20,000, you said?
20,000? Yeah, it'd be 20,000 people.
Wow.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Wow.
No, so
But you'll
be
have
nuts.
the whole cast with you, right?
Yeah,
So
and
at
Robin.
least
Yeah.
it won't just be the two of you.
No.
No, thank goodness. Otherwise, yeah.
If Smudge attends, she'll probably eat up most of the attention anyway. So you guys will be okay.
I would imagine she will be there because Dan's coming. Well, we're all coming, all 12 of us, plus Robin and his wife are going to be there as well. So it'll be a great reunion.
Oh, cool.
But it'll be busy.
And it'll be Dan's birthday.
Oh, and it's my birthday.
Oh, is it Dan's birthday too?
No,
No,
it's
his.
my birthday.
Dad's birthday. Oh,
Dad's birthday.
fun.
Mhm.
Yeah. So since we were talking about Smudge, is this a good segue, Remy?
Right, literally just walks in.
Oh yeah.
Who just? Do we have a pet? Do we have another?
We have
member
another
of the team
pet
here?
appearance.
Oh.
Hang on, I'll show you Spike. Spike, come here. Say hello.
Oh, look at
Oh.
Spike.
Hi, Spike.
Hello. Kia ora, Spike. What's funny is we mentioned Smudge at the last episode, and one of the people who had just joined, Cornado, who was in the chat, he goes, well, if Lego Masters New Zealand has dogs, it's a much better series than any of the other ones in the world.
Yeah, Smudge is the real star,
No.
but
Smudge was
Right.
great. Dan was really concerned, and he asked everybody, "Are we all going to be cool with the dog?" And I mean, I'm not really, despite Spike, I'm not particularly a doggy person.
Nor am I.
And I just said, "Yeah, mate, look, whatever you need to make your life better. If you've got to have your dog, you've got to have your dog." And dog was great, superb.
She was wonderful, and
Yeah,
for those of
definitely
you,
part definitely part of the team.
oh yeah, absolutely, and we were chatting too. When we start getting into the episode, there's another Smudge moment in episode 5, which is just adorable, and we'll chat through that in a little bit. But
Sure.
I'm just curious too about, so now that you've been on Lego Masters, and have you thought about what's next for you? Are you thinking about
Probably a slow slide back into obscurity.
well,
So no, look, I mean, it was amazing. Thoroughly enjoyed it, but I don't think we're going to suddenly. Well, I mean, personally for me, I'm not going to suddenly become a monstrous Lego head. But we've done a build for Cromwell. We've done a different build for Christchurch. I've really enjoyed that, and I would certainly consider exhibiting again. But it's not going to totally change my hobby.
No.
And I don't think it'll do yours either. But it's been great.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I guess, because of course, season 2 will come out eventually.
Yeah.
And I feel like once season 2 sort of comes out, I feel like, all the hype about us and stuff will die off. And I think, to be honest, it'll be a bit of relief. But yeah, I mean, I'm, enjoying building and stuff, but I don't think it's really gonna sort of completely, change my life and make me a massive Lego.
No, but
I've loved meeting all the fans and everything, but I mean, it has just been very full on for the past 6 months, really.
Yeah.
And so I think after Christchurch, I'll definitely want a bit of a break. But I mean, I'll keep building. It's a great thing to do. Do
what we did.
And
it might just be that we exhibit every now and again, or go to a show or whatever. But certainly, it was amazing, intense period.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I was asking because several other contestants in different, series, and since we're in the U.S., some people have started YouTube channels. Some people have gone onto Instagram. Some people have started Lego camps for kids, and that's why I was just curious about if you anticipated any changes.
I don't know. I mean, I enjoy, like, we've had a load of sort of positive feedback and everything, but I mean, it's not like my intention to 100%, go into this. Like, I mean, if I keep it as a hobby thing, then I guess we'll see what happens.
That's fine. Well, I mean, for hobbyists, we've really enjoyed your builds this season.
Thank you.
Especially this episode.
Oh yeah, this episode's amazing.
This one was a good one. I mean,
This is the prize winner.
everything
for
went
sure.
well. And
It did. It just we
it
just
flowed really well.
It was a great idea, and it just went together really well. So we're super proud of this one.
So I think this might be a good segue to start reviewing the show.
Yes.
Sure.
Episode 5. So, and I wanted to welcome Debo as well into the chat, and we've been chatting. I have to mention sometimes the followers that I have a really quirky sense of humor. So Debo's been diagnosed with a massive Lego head. Doctors say he has 6 months before he runs out of space.
No, that's more time than I have. But
last time we had a discussion about socks, so I just wanted to forewarn you that if you start seeing some interesting chatter, that's because of the people that follow me.
All good, no problem at all.
But yeah, this was the. I guess we'll get into the episode, and we can start off with our Smudge minute because Smudge had a pretty big kind of subplot in this episode.
Okay.
Yeah, so Dan and Jono, just for those at home, they won the advantage the previous week, and their advantage this week was that they got an extra hanging brick, and they got 30 extra minutes of build time.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So during those extra 30 minutes, everyone was just sitting around.
Oh, that's right.
And this happened. So here's Smudge, and I don't know. Did Smudge want to play fetch a lot with everyone? Did she just want to play, or did she mostly stay out of the way? Hello.
Yes.
Hey, we should have her come back.
That's my wife.
Your photo bombing wife.
Smudge. Oh, Smudge was
Yeah,
Get out of here, honestly. Smudge obviously interacted strongly with those builders who were happy to interact with her, whereas Georgie and I studiously tended to ignore her, and so she'd just go under our build table and go straight to whoever was willing to throw the ball or whatever. But yeah, I mean, there was she had a particular thing for Glenn.
Yes.
Oh, did she?
And so Glenn would get a lot of attention.
Yeah. So
I think we spent that time
during this downtime, there she is. She just popped up right into his arms.
Now, did he call her up, or did she just do that on her own?
No, look, she and Glenn had a good rapport. So no, she was quite often around Glenn and Jake.
Yeah, and I love the shot of Dan and Jono just looking at her.
Yeah.
But yeah,
quite
that's
funny,
that's the Smudge
sweet.
minute. Yeah,
that was so
very
sweet
cute.
and Glenn looked shocked when she did that when she just jumped into his lap. But I guess, like you said, he had been tossing the ball with her during the breaks and everything. So she said, "Okay, he's cool. I'm going to jump on his lap."
She would sit on various people in the, we all got picked up in the morning in this sort of, van, and we'd be taken to the studio. And of course, she was in there, and she'd just work her way around and sit on various people's laps. There was, she was
terrified me.
Just a really great dog, good attitude.
Remember when she jumped onto my lap in the van? We
got a photo of that.
We were going through the big tunnel, and I was afraid she was going to jump out of the window, but I didn't want to hold her too closely, so I was sort of out here, and yeah,
she was great.
Yeah,
a lot of fun.
All right, well, that was fun. So yeah, let's talk about the builds a little bit, and we usually just go in order of how they show in the episode. So the first one is Sarah and Emily's Coral the Mermaid. And they actually ended up using the power brick on this one. So there's, you see it going back into its nice little box. I should also mention that the teams had 12 hours for this challenge. So just for those of you at home. And so yeah, here's our mermaid. And
now,
it
there's
seems
a
like
subplot with the mermaid too.
yeah, it seemed like a lot of people had trouble making the mechanism works on their various builds in this episode.
Yeah, I mean, I was only sort of vaguely aware of this because it was on the other side of the studio from where we were, and there did seem to be an issue with the speed of the motor.
Yeah.
Because at times she would get it working and it would be just flowing nicely and it was smashing. It was a great idea. But when they got to the judging and they, you know, all the cameras are on them and everything, and it was right, you got to turn it on.
I think
We had these hubs that were, when you turned it on, you had to press the button to increase the speed increment, and somehow, I'm not sure what Emily did, but she had it going full speed, and it more or less shook itself to pieces. And it was a real shame because it was so you know, when it was working nicely, it was good. I mean, you know, there were some shortcomings with the build and that, but it was just really unfortunate that it had to endure sort of 30 seconds of this motor going absolutely hell for leather, and you know, bits of falling off it, and it was just it was a real shame for them. And so they played the power brick, and they got through. Where if they hadn't played the power brick, what do you think? Do you think Amy and Adam would have gone through?
I feel like
I don't know. It was
it's hard to know.
Yeah.
It's hard to judge because it's also, you know, Robin, I guess, is the main judge for all of your builds, right? The Lego certified master, I think.
Well, he was the only judge, and he explained to us it was him and him alone. There was no pressure.
Oh, really?
No, there was no pressure from Lego on the judging. There was plenty of editorial control for other things, but the judging was him and him on his own.
That's good. Di didn't pressure him too hard. He didn't offer his.
He couldn't reach.
That'll do it. But yeah,
I like how she did the hair, but the face looks kind of menacing. I don't know about it. Looks kind of scary.
They did show the face earlier. They mentioned they were having issues with that, but I like the just the way they did the body is all curves. There's no studs on the body, and then there are studs all the way on the tail. I like that. That was a good way to contrast that.
Yeah, bits of this were great, and other bits I think they sort of ran out of time, and you know, there were a couple of holes, you know, where the tail articulated. You know, you could see the mechanism and all this kind of thing, which was a shame because it was a cool idea. It was a great idea. It was superb, but you know,
we see this is kind of the full motion here. That's kind of how the tail went. And
there was the subplot of the twerking episode.
I forgot about Neville the Level.
Neville the Level.
When they said there was a twist, how did you guys feel?
So the twist was you had to have somewhere on your build that you could put this little spirit level that they'd built with Lego, and you had to be able to put the level on unsupported, and it would sit there and be level. And of course, because their build was essentially vertical, they really struggled. And in the end, they just basically put a shelf on its back end and sat the level on that. So just a number of things just didn't go very well for them in that episode.
But the increasing the booty was kind of a creative idea, I thought.
For want of a better word.
All right, well, now here we go. Here's what we've all been waiting for. It's the flying pig.
Flying pig. We love this.
There it is.
Yeah, so it's a flying pig.
Georgie, did you come up? Yeah, did you come up with this like right away as soon as it was announced? Was it like I know exactly what it is?
So what happened was at the start of the episode where they did the intro and the talking, they did a thing where one of them said, Robin said, release the cables, and then the cable came down, and we were like, oh, it's hanging brick, okay. And then after we finished filming that sort of intro talking segment, they had one of the crew, Alex, had to spend like I think it was nearly an hour going around on sort of a lifty uppy thing, going and actually like securing all of the hanging bricks in place and not just sort of having them dangling like they were for the intro shot.
That's
and so
right.
we got all of that planning time in there, and we sort of tossed around a few ideas, but then I was actually thinking about the Pink Floyd album where they've got the flying pig going over the factories. Is it? Animals, yeah, that one. And I was like, oh, why don't we do that? And so Dad was like, oh yeah, okay. And so yeah, and then it just sort of flowed from there. But like all of the sort of story about it sort of came with time. I mean, I just sort of had pig wings as like an idea, but then we added the bow, we added the learner plate on the bum, we added the purse, and the scared stuff. I think that all sort of came more when we realized that because of its weight, it was going to be going downwards, and so we were like, well, why don't we make that into a story? So yeah, because
the original idea was to have it more or less going along straight and level. And once Georgie had built the head of much density,
well, it was because it's a Lowell sphere, like upscaled by about 3,
and it just
it was big.
There was no way on it unless I had the mounting point immediately at the nape of the neck. There was no way it was going to hang level, and so we thought, well, if it's going to be pointing at the floor, let's make it crashing.
Yeah.
And
so we
bad flyer.
We turned the head sideways. So I took all the bits off the Lowell sphere and like turned them around one more like bit of the cube, and then I had a smiley face. I tipped it upside down, stuck a few transparent bricks under the eyebrows, and all of a sudden it's
scared pig.
Yeah.
all of a sudden it's scared. Here are the wings, and here's kind of the range of motion of those wings. It seemed like a very smooth motion. Like, how long did that take you to sort out?
I had in practice. So before, this was all filmed in January and February. So before Christmas, I had actually built a flapping bird as an exercise, and really just a proof of concept on the wing mechanism. And I built this bird. I don't think it even lasted a day. I broke it down that afternoon, and but I did get the mechanism flapping quite well. But of course, when it came to this and the pressure was off, I couldn't remember how I'd done it. All I remember was the geometry was quite weird, and there was this sort of strange offset thing there was a stud offset that so it wasn't quite symmetrical, and as I was making the mechanism, it came back to me that there was this sort of weird thing going on, and then there in front of me it was suddenly asymmetric, and I was like, I'm onto it now. And because I struggled to make it work, and I remember Adam's one next to us on the table next to us, his was working fine, and I was really struggling, and I was like, but then I remembered how I did it. I got it working, and it worked an absolute treat. It was dead smooth.
Yeah, it worked the whole time.
And
all of the shooting and everything. It was great.
It was working for ages and ages, and it never missed a beat. So I was really, really pleased with that. But there was a bit of a panicked hour at the beginning, just trying to make it work.
Okay, well here's the purse, and you can see a little bit more of the pig's expression, which is great.
So that was the silk purse, which of course you can't make a silk purse out of a sow's ear, is an expression in, I guess surely that's in America too, but so there's a silk purse.
That was an add-on in the last 10 minutes or something. I remember we were I was trying to stick it on, and it kept sort of falling off the leg, and I was like,
we didn't have enough snot bricks on the leg, did we?
Yes, we had more snot bricks. I was just like,
so it was like, oh god, there's not enough studs.
What do we do? Cover it up.
Okay, and here's the learner's permit. The tail also turned around, which was cute.
and the rotating tail, and I think that's the chameleon. There's the chameleon on the middle
there
of
it
the
is.
trotter.
You got it.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So, so we had the.
But what is
chameleon on
the? So this is a learner's tag that you would put on your car. I
Yeah,
guess.
so that's
so-
the New Zealand. What the New Zealand one looks like, I have no idea what the American.
Yeah, so we have these yellow and black
See,
plates.
we wouldn't.
Yeah. That was probably the
Hold
easiest
on to
thing to
that.
build in the whole thing.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, really easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have that in America. They
Yeah.
don't put anything special on your car.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
Well,
of course
they
you-
do have student driver tags, like the things that pizza delivery people have on top of the roofs.
Oh,
Sometimes
yeah,
they'll put
yeah.
student driver on there.
Cool.
If you're
But as far as
actually
the learner's
in a
tag,
lesson,
I don't think we
right.
actually have one of those.
Right. Okay. No, you give these things a wide berth, when you see them. It's like, oh no, I'm gonna.
You
I'll just
stay
hang back a bit.
away.
But the tail was funny because originally we hadn't thought to do that.
No.
But I can't remember which of us decided that was a good plan.
I think you did.
But the way I had the wing mechanism, I had the main sort of drive rod stuck out the back. The motor was at the front on the head side, and then and then there was this rod that just went through the mechanism and out the other side, and it was just in a perfect position for a couple of universal joints and a drive shaft to have a spinning tail. So the spinning tail, which Robin absolutely loved, he was like, I'm so pleased that you got that. Took me less than 10 minutes to implement that.
It was very quick, yeah.
It was just literally a case of one rod, two universal joints, and build up a little.
Yeah.
Originally, I tried making it in the tubing, the light grey tube that you can sort of mold.
yeah.
Yeah,
and
the
I
flexible tube. Yeah.
around like a I don't know, a brick or something, and tried to curl it up.
But it didn't hold.
But the bloody stuff kept uncurling. It would go straight. So it would hold for about a quarter of an hour, and then it would just be a straight rod. And I was like, this is hopeless. So I built it out of Technic.
It's a good plan.
No, this was brilliant. Everything you did here is brilliant. And then the underside, is that the lighting that makes it look blue, or it was pink overall?
Yeah. I think this is just the lighting.
The whole thing was pink.
with a bit of
That's
grey.
just the lighting. Yeah.
Well,
It's the
Okay.
lighting there. Okay.
In fact,
Okay.
it was
Oh,
funny
yeah.
looking at the underside. The dye had seen us make the silk purse. That's right, and he said, but you can only make a silk purse out of a sow's ear. And I said, yeah, well, it's a sow. And he said, how do we know it's a sow? I said, well, I better put some teats on it. So I made these little wee teats.
and I made a hair bow too.
I put them on. And then Di
I
and I
didn't realize you put the teats on there too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so we had
subtle.
This,
This is the only angle that they showed that brung. So
So we had this argument about how many teats a sow has, and I had it in mind that there were like whatever it was, 12 or 10. And that's right, I had 10, and he said no. Di said no, I'm sure it's 12. So I made 2 more, and then in the end, after the episode, I looked it up, and it's like 14 or 16.
14.
So, yeah, so
Wow.
it's teat central under a pig.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And we put a hair
And then
bow
you're right,
too.
Georgie. The bow gave it away as also.
That's right. So we had the bow. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Added a bit of colour as well.
But it was surprising. The pink supplies in the brick pit was not that good.
No, it was terrible.
And so this represented not all of it, but a decent chunk of the pink that was available.
Once we got out of the brick of the light pink, all I had basically to do, like the head and most of the legs, was 2x6, 1x4, and 1x2 plates.
Yeah,
Oh.
To
that's
do
right.
all of it,
It was
and
plates.
it was absolutely terrible.
There were loads of thin plates and nothing else.
Yeah, no, it was not good.
So there's an awful lot of plate work in there, just long, thin. There was 16x2 in magenta, which I've never.
Which you used on
which
the
are on the
underneath,
underside,
not
but
really,
but certainly there wasn't a lot of pink in the brick pit.
So it's a good thing the other teams didn't use a lot of pink as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah,
For sure.
the
That
mums
would
had
have made it
a
harder.
bit of pink on their tails. I know.
Yeah,
Stop.
that's right.
I need that pink.
Yeah.
but but no, this was just really fun all around. I love big creatures, so this was just a lot of fun for me. But yeah, you can see
we hate big creatures. We're not big creature builders at all.
Like, I mean, I like looking at them, but like to build.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. But no, I mean, look, it came together really well. Like I say, it was a great idea, and because it was so whimsical, we could really just go to town with the whole sort of cartoony thing. It didn't have to be overly realistic.
Yeah, and I think that attracted Robin as well.
Yeah,
that's sort of kind of thing he's into.
The whimsical nature of it.
So, it was good. It was good.
Yeah. All right.
That's awesome.
I think that's the last shot I have. Okay, yeah. So next we have Humphrey the Penguin by Amy and Adam. And
again, a great idea. It was such a good idea, because of course penguins don't fly, and so if you've got a flying penguin, that's great. But it was just the mechanism.
It seemed like they struggled a lot in the episode with getting it to work, getting it to stay together, which is unfortunate because I love it. It has so many accessories. It's got a backpack and goggles and a helmet.
Amy did the head, and I think she did the backpack. I'm not sure. She certainly did the head. She made such a great job of that. It's just so good with the goggles and the leather.
The goggles are amazing. Yeah.
But yeah.
Then she did the gnome head too, right? When the garden episode with the
I think so.
She's got some great sculpting abilities.
Yeah. So the other issue here was when Adam was trying to put the level on, he didn't stop the mechanism, and so it was trying to work, and and the whole thing was wobbling around, and he was trying to find this level spot on the bird to put the level on. And when we put our level on, I just turned the wings off. And it was great, no bother at all.
And the mums turned theirs off as well.
I think everybody else had theirs off.
I was wondering about that.
He kept trying to do it, and of course the mechanism only had a couple of minutes in it, and so if he hadn't had to do that, it probably would have held together for the duration of the judging. And it's like,
that was also unfortunate.
Yeah.
But I also picked this shot because I love the feet. The feet are great on this.
Yeah, the feet were great, sort of hanging out behind. No, it was a great build. It was just the mechanics. The mechanics let it down. It was just a shame.
Yeah, it was just unfortunate. But yeah, we got
and penguins are also iconic in New Zealand too. The yellow-eyed penguins down there.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that is
I think those are yellow-eyed penguins, just based on the
has yellow
the
eyes.
goggles. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's endemic to here. So yeah, there was a Kiwi twist for sure.
Yes.
Unlike the pig, you can find a pig anywhere.
we had a New Zealand learner license.
Oh yeah, true.
Is there a specific kind of pig that's native to New Zealand?
No, pink and fat.
Pink and fat New Zealand pigs.
Okay, well, next up we've got Glenn and Jake's Broccoli Man.
Yeah. Oh, I built a cat. That was my favorite bit of the episode.
Yeah. So Broccoli Man is flying down to save the cat, which has knocked off the pot plant off the balcony, and what a great build. Amazing sculpting, hardly a stud in sight.
Yeah, it was small though.
But it was reasonably sort of
compact.
Yeah, compact. But it was
great. Yeah.
It had their signature
style,
precision and style. Just amazing sculpting.
Yeah, I think this is one of the few builds of theirs that they didn't have a mechanism, but the eyes lit up. So.
Yeah, that's right. It was. I think it probably was the only one without a mechanism, wasn't it? I can't think of another.
Episode 2, nobody had a mechanism.
And
episode 4, nobody
had a mechanism.
Apart from those,
no, that's true. The bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the rest of them did.
Yeah, true. But it was a beautiful build. Yeah, Robin said it was a wee bit on the small side, but certainly when Glenn was in the brick pit with Dan,
Yeah.
having a bit of a pep talk because Dan had he wasn't overly pleased with how his spaceship was going.
Yeah.
And Glenn
The only bit that they showed was I built a cat.
Yeah, I built a cat.
Yeah, it was like, I didn't know I could do this. Here's a cat.
Yeah. but that conversation went on for 20, 25 minutes.
Wow.
Glenn was really trying to boost Dan up a bit. Dan was in a bit of a hole, and the one thing they chose to show was I built a cat.
See,
So
these
they
are
also built Broccoli Man.
Yeah, these are the side moments that we really appreciate you bringing to the show here, is that some of the insights that they don't show you on the show.
Course.
Yeah, I mean,
And
there's
I
so
think-
much you guys don't see, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the camaraderie that you have as a family of Lego builders, it's so strong and so nice to see.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
we've certainly we've kept in touch, and every day there's a bit of banter on a little chat group, and it's good. I can't wait to see everybody on in a week's time.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing Amy and Adam's build. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
Are we meant to talk about that? I don't know if I'm meant to talk about that, so I won't say anything.
Yeah, no.
But
we'll-
it's something Lego Masters related. I'll
Yeah,
say
no.
that
Okay.
much. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll have to let us
So there's
know.
a cat that Glenn built.
Yeah, here's
And the pot
the
plant.
potted plants, like this kind of structure here. Here's just another shot of it.
Yeah.
and
And
there's Neville the level.
Yeah, that
so-
was risky.
So they balanced it on the back of Broccoli Man's cape, or
Cape.
the very bottom of Broccoli Man's cape. And of course, the cape was only maybe 2 studs thick.
Yeah, I
Oh,
think they
really?
like some 1x2 inverted slopes
Yeah,
for it to sit on.
just to make a little bit of
Yeah.
a hole.
oh, wow. Just to make a tiny little shelf.
Yeah, just a tiny thing that it could sit
Wow.
on.
Just for
Um,
Neville.
It was good.
And Debo says that looks like my cat. Save her, Broccoli Man.
yeah,
I
absolutely.
think, was it based on Glenn's cat?
I think it was. I think there was
Leia the cat.
there was something in there that was vaguely factual.
Mhm.
But it was a beautiful build. Beautiful build.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, finally we have the mighty dreadnought. This is
Yeah.
John and Dano's, and so
Yeah.
their advantage, they had 2 hanging bricks, and they kind of merged them together in one long battleship.
Yeah.
Massive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which I mean, it was huge. It would have been.
It was
Yeah.
quite imposing.
It would have been getting on for 2 meters long, that thing, and it was big and imposing. There was a fair bit of talk, later on whether it was the best use of the 2 bricks,
Yeah,
the 2
whereas
wires.
maybe they should have had like 2 things.
2 things, maybe a dogfight or something like that might have been perhaps more effective. But the problem was with the wires, you couldn't stop your build spinning when you were if you didn't have your hands on it, it would just spin. The aircon in the studio was quite powerful, and so there was a bit of a breeze generally, and so all these things kept spinning around. So if they'd have done a dogfight, there would have been the planes would have been facing away from each other for half the time.
Oh.
So, it
Yeah,
would have been a
that's-
bit of a mission.
Yeah, that's a good point. I was wondering if they had considered building 2 separate things and connecting them somehow. Thematically.
I guess the thing about that is that they got an advantage, and so I feel like in an advantage, having to build more stuff, that kind of defeats the purpose of having.
Yeah, I mean, certainly they got the extra half hour, which of course we spent playing hand games and
Yeah,
slapping
we
at
did
each other.
sticks. We played sticks, and there's photos. Of
but certainly, they did end up, having to build an awful lot more than everybody else.
Mhm. But yeah, they definitely built a lot more. I think he said it was 170 studs long.
Yeah.
So
I
that
wonder
is
how they
that's
counted that.
it's just physically a lot of building.
Yeah, and it was quite wide as well. I mean, there was a lot of bulk to it, so it wasn't just and there was a big sort of structural member down the middle that was holding it all together. I mean, you're sort of thinking about it. You could have done sort of couple of ships with a laser beam firing between one or the other, and that would of course help them, you know, a more or less non-structural thing just to keep them aligned. But I mean, it was a great build. I mean, it was very impressive, just hanging there in the studio. But
yeah, I mean, I guess something else though is that I think Robin was looking for, you know, because obviously he's really into sort of going outside the box with your ideas, whereas with, you know, a spaceship, it flies. Yeah. Whereas, you know, the superhero flies as well, but the penguin and the mermaid and the pig do not fly, and I guess that's probably why.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, he preferred those, I guess.
Yeah.
And, you know, everybody knows that giant space bugs love spaceships. So that's also not outside the box. They're always draining the power cores, as you can see here.
Yeah. So, I mean, Robin reckoned the story wasn't quite so clear, but I mean,
I didn't notice there was any movement until watching the show, to be honest.
Oh, right. Yeah. I mean, I did actually spend a wee bit of time giving this a good once over in the studio. So,
because I didn't see the movement. I saw the lights, but I didn't realize it was moving as well.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's really a lot of, there's kind of a lot going on with the eggs and whatnot. And just the general shape. I'm sure they spent a ton of time just greebling this and adding all the details.
Oh yeah.
There was a lot went into it, but certainly, I mean, Dan would have had at least half an hour not doing anything on that. You know, he couldn't see how it was going to go together, and then Jono built enough of it to show him that was how it was. You know, is Jono. I think it was Jono's basic idea in his head, wasn't it?
I think so, yeah.
Sometimes it's hard to communicate that.
I do want to know what the LL1315 means.
I would imagine there's something there.
I was going to ask you, but I guess, you know, hopefully we can ask them someday what the...
Sure. When we're talking to them, they'll remember.
That someday will be very soon.
But yeah, like I always wonder, you know, what I would do with these challenges, but like, I'm sure once you get there, like all that goes out the window.
Oh yeah. I mean, we've done loads of planning. I think we did about 2 of the like 40 plus ideas we came up with.
We had a list that was basically, we went through all of the Australian challenges, and then we added a few of our own. And it was like, you know, so if it's this, we'll do this. And if it's this, we'll do this. And we just... not even slightly.
Well, we're really glad with what you presented on this one.
Thank you.
And and there's Neville the Level, final appearance, doing its job. And that's it. You folks were in the top 2 with Glenn and Jake's Broccoli Man. And, you know, if for those of you who have seen or not seen the episode before, Glenn
spoiler alert.
Yeah, spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Y'all were the winners, and you got the power brick immediately. So that's right. We did, and the weird thing was, of course, this was episode 5. We knew there were 9 episodes. We knew that 9 was obviously the final. And we knew that there was one more elimination. And of course, the power brick saves you from elimination. There's one more elimination. Therefore, we thought we're a shoo-in for the final. And that's all good. But spoiler alert, you have to watch episode 8 to see what actually happened.
This was like the only shot I could get of you getting the power brick, Georgie. So
we were chuffed a bit, obviously, with that.
I mean, to win a challenge, I think was just. I mean, that was more than what I was hoping for. I hoped that. I mean, our main aim was to get through the first elimination. You know, we just wanted to do that. After that, I mean, I would have liked. Like before we won, I was like, to get top 2, I think would just be nice, once. But not expecting to win at all, and then we go and win. It's like
so it all went really well for us on Ep5. It was good, but certainly they were all good builds. I mean, they've
Well, the other question I had for you, Georgie, is after this episode and you had the power brick, Di seemed to want to taunt you a lot in using the power brick. And you actually said something in the break room when they interview you that you said, I was just wanting him to stop talking.
That was the next episode. That was episode 6, and he kept going on about, you can use the button, and you get the power brick taken off you, but you can use the button, and there's going to be like a strawberry milkshake and like a lime milkshake or like whatever it was, and I was
I think he offered you unlimited porridge at one point.
Unlimited porridge.
Yeah. He was offering all manner of incentives.
Yeah, and I was just like, no, just. Please go away. Yeah.
Well, it reminded me of how he kept surprising Adam in the previous episode.
Yeah.
So it was like, okay, he's got to pick somebody new, and he decided to pick on you, Georgie.
I mean, that whole business, again, you only saw
2 minutes.
On the show.
It was like 20 minutes in real life.
Yeah, it just went on and on and on.
Yeah, I think I counted 4 times he was surprised, but I guess there was a lot more of that.
Oh yeah.
You said 20 minutes. I mean, that's a long time
for a while.
Yeah. But and they obviously looking for the best angle and everything else, so you just put up with it. But,
So Debo wants to ask, was the chameleon on a roof in the bridge build?
When
you did the bridge build.
No, on the bridge it was round the
pizza
corner
place.
On the Italian side, next to the
pizza
place, wasn't it?
Let's spot some chameleons real quick.
So
here's the first one right here.
Yep, under the bushes on the island. And I tell you what, whoever found that on that bit of footage,
that's a good job.
They were really looking, because they never asked us.
No, not for that one.
Oh, really? They had to go through and just look at the footage they had
and checked it out. So
this is where we were talking when we were reviewing this, that you had to have really dedicated guests to come to your wedding, because they had to climb this rock to get up there in their formal attire.
That's right.
Yeah.
But yeah, here's episode 2. This one was a little easier to spot, but still pretty cute.
Sleepy girl. She's just had a mind blow up around her, and she's still asleep.
Sleepy girl is now a little bit of a thing as well. I've got her hidden in one of my builds for the
interesting.
show next weekend.
Oh, that's cool.
So Sleepy girl and chameleon.
Yeah.
Okay, and
look who's here! Between the bricks is here.
Yeah.
Hey, Dan.
Oh, great!
Hello,
welcome.
Dan.
Where'd the idea for the chameleons come from?
To be honest, it was just like, as we said before, I mean, we were just sort of looking in the brick pit. I think I was wanting to add a few little animals and bits and pieces to the foliage, like I put little birds and things like that. And then while I was in the sort of animal bin in the brick pit, I was like, these funny little kind of sort of novel pieces. And so I was like, why don't I chuck that in there? And then I was like, I guess I've just sort of got to make this a thing now.
Just appealed, and because they were so small, and,
you could sort of hide them.
They got a silly look on their face.
So there's the one for the cut in half challenge.
Feature on the handlebars.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It kept sliding around in that one. Actually, it was really annoying.
Really?
Such a great build.
Okay,
and then
here's the
you
one.
kind of see it next to the bins.
Yeah, just by the bins.
There it
There's
is.
a guy in the bin as well.
Oh, there is a guy in the bin.
It was a shame. There was so much story on that bridge build, and they really just glossed over it for the bungee strength thing.
Yeah.
We had story everywhere on there, and it was.
I like
love
this pizza too. The pizza was really good.
I mean, I even put like the Italians in red, white, and green, and the French in red, white, and blue.
There was just so many little touches, and it was just it was a shame we didn't appear to get a lot of credit for it, but there we are.
Yeah.
Did you include your sig figs in each build? I think Emily and Sarah did that. But did you go out of your way to incorporate them as well?
Because the sig
Didn't they
figs
hold them?
they held them back after episode 1.
Oh.
We didn't get to see them again until
I think
I think it might have been when we went home.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, we certainly didn't put them in every build because they weren't there.
Yeah, but I mean, maybe they just remade one.
Yeah, they might have done. I'm not sure. But
but did they actually give them to you at the end, or?
Yeah,
I mean, this is mine.
This was the
my
official one.
My one
that's
originally had
awesome.
a pink singlet on it, but Dan got the singlets made.
Yeah, so thanks, Dan.
Yeah, since you're in the chat, Dan, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for the. What have we got?
I'm yawning.
Oh, that's really cool.
Lego Masters New Zealand.
Yeah,
that is
so
awesome.
we both got one of those with alternative torsos.
Yeah, and alternative faces in my case.
Oh yeah.
And Dad's is just a cap because you
just got a cap.
patch.
Okay, and then again, here's the chameleon for episode 5.
Chameleon on the trotter.
Yep.
Now, do you give away chameleons at shows? Have you done that?
No,
This is the only one we possess.
we've only got one, and that's the one we stole.
Oh boy. And let's see. Oh, and here's the one for the monochrome challenge.
Oh, that's right. This is Georgie.
We couldn't find it on the build.
Yeah, I think I just chucked it into the scaffolding.
You just threw it into the middle, didn't you?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that was the little bit where she introduces the thing, and then
that one had loads of chameleons.
Yeah, that's right. We had a whole handful. They were in the porridge.
Yeah.
Inside the porridge. How funny.
Yeah. Yeah. So they'd fallen in. And then what did we have? We had one on 8.
Yeah, it was hidden amongst the debris.
Oh, okay.
I couldn't find one for episode 8. I could not find that chameleon, and neither could the show.
We'll have to look again.
Yeah, it is there, but it was pretty dark down the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Dan has mentioned that you can't do custom torsos anymore.
Yeah, they recently
said no more.
announced that.
Wow.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh, really?
So you better hold on to that. That's a unique piece. Wow.
We'll treasure it.
You can still engrave like 1x8 bricks for conventions and things like that.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just the torsos.
Wow, that's a shame.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I wanted to ask Georgie too. I think you have this graphic, right, Remy, about some of the fan art that you've received.
Oh yes, let me.
Since being on the show.
Oh yeah,
it's so adorable. I told Remy, I go, we have to show people this. It is just so adorable.
Yes, and inspiring the next generation.
It's inspiring the next generation, and also because she put this on her Instagram's, I think, highlights.
Yeah,
and that is just since we're talking about episode 5 too. Just
it's the pig. That was so lovely.
Yes,
that's really
so cute.
We got something from Cromwell as well, didn't we? What was that? That was the golden brick. We got
the golden brick and the tower, the South Africa one.
That's right, a picture of the South African build and the power brick. Which,
I know.
Which if you had to think of a build that was going to sort of appeal to about a 7-year-old girl, the South African one probably wasn't it. But there we are.
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering, when you first got this, has it kind of sunk in how you're an inspiration to so many people, both of you?
I mean, for me personally, like a lot of my sort of, I guess, fans.
You had a lot of girls coming.
It's a lot of sort of youngish girls. Well, not super young, but just girls sort of in general.
Yeah, girls in general.
And I think because I've been into Lego, not really had a dark age or anything ever since I was 5. I think that was part of why when I was applying for the show, I was like, well, if I get on here, imagine what it would have been like for me watching as a younger girl, seeing, there's this cool teenage girl who can, do all the stuff, I can do it too. And so I think that really ended up happening. And it was very, humbling for me to have these, girls. I mean, of course, and boys have come up as well, but yeah.
just
It's
over,
mainly them,
yeah, I mean,
yeah.
just overall, the whole experience
Yeah.
is so positive. It's been
Mhm.
great.
Also, Marple's schoolboys the other day at the domain came up to me and they were like, "Oh, you're the kid from the Lego Masters. Oh, that's so cool." Yeah.
It's
Anyway,
you
we'll,
know,
we'll be wrapping the fish and chips next week, so that'll be all good.
Yeah. Honestly, I have the same reaction. So, oh my God, you were on Lego Masters. That's so cool.
Yeah, and the fact that you took the time to be here on our little show,
Oh, look,
That's great.
Our little
It's really
US
wholesome.
show.
It's really wholesome. Yeah.
you're most welcome. No problem at all.
we really appreciate you both for
Yes.
just taking your time and for being such an inspiration for everybody around the world. I mean, who's seen you. And I know personally also Dan. I know Dan from Twitch. I haven't actually met him in person, but I knew Dan from Twitch. And so I guess our big reveal for next week is that Dan and Jono are going to be coming on as
Oh,
guests.
super.
Yay! Oh, it'll be
Oh
episode
yeah,
6. Yeah.
episode 6 and so they
Episode
should.
6. And then also, since Dan is on the chat, what does LL1315
Oh, yeah.
mean?
Yeah, Dan,
Since-
please tell.
Since Georgie and Andrew don't know either, maybe Andrew, Dan, you can mention
Yes.
that for us. But
Are you going to
so
enlighten
so
us
next
or
week.
keep us in
So
suspense?
we're actually getting some of the Lego Masters kind of
Mhm.
inadvertently. When we started this, 5 weeks ago, I said, I have a bunch
Mhm.
of friends in New Zealand and I'm sure they'll jump on. And now we're actually getting the contestants. So we really appreciate you both
Mhm.
being here today. And Dan,
Always.
I know you and Jono are committed for next week. And I'm going to reach out to some of the others because I have been in touch with Jake because of Rebecca. And I
Mhm.
think we have to adjust for Glenn's schedule. But I think I'm going to go reach out to the other ones. And hopefully you had a good experience and can vouch for us and say we didn't,
Yeah.
we didn't scare them away.
It's okay. Yeah.
No.
That's great. And I wanted to thank everybody also in the chat. Oh, he says it doesn't mean anything. Nothing. I told Jono do LL110 because it would be
That's-
easy.
Yes.
Jono doesn't do easy.
I
See,
could definitely
this
see
is
that
why we
if you're
need these
yeah.
answers.
when you're under the gun and you need a logo just to bang it out
Just
fast. Yeah,
LL110. It'll work.
that totally makes sense.
I'm kind of bummed. I wish it had some significance.
Oh yeah, well
We'll have to make it a thing.
Yeah, it's a little
we'll
disappointing. It's
create
not like the
something.
key to a treasure, but yeah.
Maybe
Still
before
interesting.
next week, we can ask people to send in what they think it should be.
Yes. Oh, that would be so good.
Well, thank you
Yeah.
again,
Yes.
Georgie, Andrew. So great for you to be here and take your time to share with. And you're welcome to come back anytime too, if you want
Yeah,
to come back
no
for
problem at all. No
a
problem.
future episode. I know that Dan has already done an episode where he had the entire cast on. And I think there were a couple of different, I won't mention them here. I'll just say, go to Dan's channel because there is something funny that Georgie built. That's all I'll say. Is that you built something that was a little risque. That's all I'll say.
Yeah. I think we'll leave it at that. So
Yeah, we'll leave it at that. So you just watch between the
we got
bricks.
a question here. We're being told to ask Georgie what the dots on top of their game meant.
Yeah, and that's why we're leaving now.
Are we out of time? Do you have to run?
Well, before you go, I know we wanted to make sure because Georgie has a hard stop, but if you want to follow Georgie at Georgina CM Palmer on Instagram. And then we also have Georgie's website, georginapalmer.com.
on it, so yeah.
And when you go to that site, make sure you go to the music tab and scroll all the way down and see her YouTube page because she also is an accomplished composer and has been recognized in Dunedin for all of her accomplishments there. So thank you so much. I know you have to leave, but thank you so much for being with us. We really appreciate that. Thank you. Nami.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Take care.
And for those of you who also want to, make sure you follow Brick Literacy on Instagram and you're listening to the Brickanista Broadcast Network. Please like and subscribe to the stream. you can remember, I always have to remember to do that. If you
Yes.
enjoyed this show, and next week we're going to have Between the Bricks, Dan, who's in the chat right now,
Yes.
and Jono, who are going to be on the show to talk about
Mhm.
episode 6. So we're
And,
super excited that we were able to have this show today. And thank you, Remy, again for hanging out and doing all of the work with all the visuals. And thank you, chat. You guys are awesome. Really appreciate you all. And any other closing comments there, Remy?
No, I'm just, I guess we'll ask Dan next week about what the dots on top of their game meant, since Andrew and Georgie didn't want to tell us.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, we'll talk about that next week. And thank you, Between the Bricks, Lena Inverse, Debo, Zach Martinez, anybody who's been listening and also, hanging out afterwards, watching the review on demand. And as they say on the Brickanista Broadcast Network, may the clutch be with you. Take care, everyone. Bye.